I was just told by my partner that I seem to be reflecting this kind of 80s image, and I guess it's very appropriate for the subject that I'm going to speak on. I intend to be in the Dyke March in Boston again this year. And, I get comments from people from time to time and have over the years because they, don't understand that connection. And without going into the greater part of the detail, when I was in the military, I was very much in love with someone who was stricken with what they called GRID then, or gay cancer, or whatever. And he was very sick, and even though he and I had broken up a couple of years before he was diagnosed with the AIDS virus, I told him that I would be there for him. I would stick by him, and I flew back from Boston to San Diego to be with him the last few months of his life. And Timothy Wood was from Arab, Alabama. And he was really quite something in a lot of respects, and his memory to me is a blessed one. I looked around for different groups that might be able to help us, because it was certainly a very tough time, and there was a lot of ignorance out there. People were running from people with AIDS like the house was on fire. But the one exception that I found with this, and it was a great exception, were the women that were part of various groups in San Diego and Southern California, for that matter. And when I say women, I mean sisters who love their sisters. And a pact at that point formed that has lasted, quarter of a century now. And the reason that I make an effort at marching with the lesbians the night before the gay pride marches, wherever I happen to be, is because of this covenant and this compassion that I witnessed on their part. Many organized meals on wheels. Some of us were a little more bold in smuggling medications that the FDA was dragging its feet on and bringing back to alleviate the suffering of, our fellow beings. It's a very sad thing that happened. There was a climate of fear. It has taken me years to forgive the people who went running from it. And I think in some respects, I myself, may have even been a little bit guilty of that. But, I have often said that, especially with regards to the gay, lesbian, transgender, and bisexual community, that united we stand, divided we will most certainly fall. And if we don't hang together, we will surely hang separately. You have to look out over the horizon and see these narrow-minded, self-loathing bigots that are on TV all the time talking about this, using gay marriage as a divisive issue, invoking, terms like AIDS and, anti-family and stuff like this. It was funny, something John Waters said about, gay men and lesbians being just as bad as the Catholics now. They all want marriage and many children. And I think that is actually quite true. So this year for the Boston Dyke March, I am going to be in the city the whole weekend. I am going on the Dyke March. People know. And I will also be there for the Pride March in Boston and in New York. I have made it clear to people this year that I think that we should have a march for solidarity in honor of Stonewall. It was a bunch of justifiably angry lesbians who, with some long-haired freaky people and some drag queens and some other very courageous people down in the village of New York, Greenwich Village, decided that they had had enough of police brutality. And, you know, coming out at the age of 14 in Boston, where I had fruit thrown at me, kind of set the tone for something in my life. It will never again be tolerated by me as an American to endure abuse because of who I am, the way I love, the way the gods made me. Remember this, my friends. God does not make junk. The gods do not make junk. We are perfect and we are beautiful. And the more we let our liberation shine, and the more that we approach things in this life with courage, standing up to those things that are wrong, the greater our stock in this world will be. And so therefore, these are some of the reasons that I am calling upon people, the hippies, the artists, the musicians, those who are on the fringe, those who are persecuted, those who are mistreated, those who are disenfranchised. I am calling upon people to march with us this year. Please join us. Now, I am not at liberty to open the doors for the Dyke March, but I can't think of a single lesbian that I know that would turn their back on having to support a march of solidarity on the 40th anniversary of Stonewall this year to celebrate freedom, liberation, and the Bill of Rights, and those rights that we are supposed to be guaranteed in this country. So I hope people will join me in Boston for the Dyke March, for the Gay Pride Parade, and in New York for the Pride Parade. I still haven't received the information on the Dyke March there, but I am certainly open for that. So please, let us have a march of unity and solidarity this year, and to show the world that the status quo is no longer acceptable. This is our country too, and in honor of Lady Liberty and the rights that we are supposed to have as Americans, I ask one and all, if you cannot physically march, march in your heart. March with us through your letters to Congress. March with us to your expression in this world. March with us by saying to people, we will no longer tolerate abuse from you. We are much better than that. My name is Yus Lundberg. I am professionally and spiritually known as the Fairy King. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful life.